chest right now. I've been playing for a few hours. I think I'm about an hour and a half in, so... not on one. So I have a few generations of heroes, you know, back through the history. So the way it works is you play a character until they die in the castle. Then you play their descendant, who more than likely has traits based off of something that they were. My previous hero was Sir Gans, this divine assassin. He got that from entering more than one of the successor areas. So my choices are Lady Brine II, the Lich Queen, Gigantism, Sir Maze, the assassin with Clumsy and Ambivalous, and Lady Annabelle III, the Barbarian Queen. Lich Queen or King is high mana, high defense, and the ability to gain HP off of killing people. So the assassin does lots of damage through critical strikes, but is kind of a glass cannon. And the barbarian is simply lots of HP and hits hard. Now, each of them has a little spell icon underneath their character portrait telling you which spell they have. Maze and Annabelle share the same spell in Dagger, where you simply fire a dagger directly out in front of you, but the character I'm going to select, Lady Brine, has Flame Barrier. It has orbiting balls of fire that do nice damage. This is my manner, and every time I upgrade one of those skills with a plus symbol next to it, it evolves the manner if it's at an edge. Like the one I'm about to upgrade, Death Defy, will add a little balcony. Now that gives me 1.5% chance to not die when dying, as silly as that sounds. This is the blacksmith. He allows you to forge new equipment and change equipment. I'm currently wielding the blood sword, which does less damage Alright, we'll go to the basic and then look at the blood sword. It does slightly more damage, but lowers your health, and the trade-off is you heal from killing enemies. I'm going to use that because actually it doesn't sound like a bad idea. Same with helmets, only I don't have the blood version of the helmet. I'm currently using the best helmet I have. I think I'm going to switch over to the blood chest plate in an attempt to see if I can't keep my HP gaining quickly. Bracers and cloak, and I'm not gonna switch to my blood clue. Maybe I could. No, I can't. I don't have the weight. So this is the Enchantress. She allows you to customize your various items with non-tied to the item boosts in the form of runes. So I currently have a sprint rune equipped, which allows me to do a short dash left or right. If I had the money, I could upgrade to a bounty rune, which increases my gold drops, or a sky rune, which allows me to fly. On my sword. On my helmet, I have the Vault rune, or the Haste rune. I'm using Vault. On my chest plate, I only have Retaliation, and it's not worth the money to unlock it. I have a curse rune unlocked but not equipped on my bracers. And on my cloak, I have that bounty rune that I mentioned earlier. This is the architect. My sword is the size of his head. He has the ability to lock the castle into the form that it was previously. And this is the Toll Keeper, the boatman, Charon of the River Styx. He charges normally 100% of all money you're carrying, and requires you to go into the castle at 0 each time. I have downgraded that to 90% instead of... The entry chamber is always the same. You've got these 5 breakable objects, sometimes they drop money, and this door to the final boss. You've got 4 bosses in the area around. See, the map here shows the castle, the tower, the dungeon, and the forest. You find a boss in each of those areas and defeat them to, light up their icon on that door. There's a journal of my travels through the castle. I don't feel like reading it right now. I'm gonna get a little quiet. So you see how I'm getting a readout of plus HP and plus max HP with every enemy I kill? That is because I'm a lich and I'm wearing vampirism gear. I can't do that. So there are certain rooms in the castle that have fairy chests. To open a fairy chest, there is an objective you must meet in that room before you can open the fairy chest, or will lock the fairy chest if you fail it. On the right hand side it says take no damage. These are spikes, which everybody that's ever played a Sonic game knows do damage to you if you touch them. Now, if I had a sky rune, I might be able to glide past them. writer of the journal is describing the fact that it appears every single time you enter the castle, it's a new castle. I will absolutely upgrade my spell. So I can now, instead of doing the circling orbs, spend the MP and release spiked balls around. shrine to one of the various deities in-game, I can pray and ask for assistance, and it rewards me with Hyperion's Ring, which I believe, if I die, will restore me to life with near full HP. Now, this is a gateway. They exist between the various points of the castle. Now, on the map, you remember it said tower to the top, dungeon to the bottom, and forest all the way to the right. The reason I was pushing mainly right was because I'm currently level 44, which is appropriate for the forest instead of for the castle proper. Having fun watching? You should be able to type in the YouTube chat, and I might be able to see it. I don't know, as this is my first time streaming to YouTube. I'm actually checking the chat right now. First time streaming to YouTube. So, the point about you typing on there is it's just going to sound like I'm a crazy person talking to myself. Now I have the option between the Barbarian Queen with dementia and hugeism like her mother, the Barbarian Queen with the Tourette's, and the Shinobi with the inability to cast spells correctly. Now, the Barbarian Queen with Tourette's actually sounds like the best bet, simply because of dementia makes up invisible enemies. The gigantism is nice, it increases the swing of my sword, but there's no downside to Tourette's, only an upside. You swear when you're hit, which means you recover faster. Can't exactly explain it. And then ambivalence means any spell you cast appears behind you instead of in front of you. And with the sword that he has, the Blade Wall spell, it will place it behind him instead of in front of him, and my luck, I will forget partway through. They do have the ability to just have raw higher damage, so that means I could switch to my Blood Cape in an attempt to... I think I'm gonna go with the Shinobi. I'm not gonna use the spells. Now, I have 658 gold to spend. I can't spend it on anything but improving my crit chance, so I'm going to check and see what are my options here. Let's do that. Now, because Shinobi cannot crit, I'm going to switch off the Night Cape to the Blood Cape. Because Night Cape, 15% critical. Never mind, that's damage. I'm an idiot. It's the Squire Cape that has the critical chance. Still a good choice. Now, I should have... Do I want to switch this back? I can't. This way. Great. Money. Doom this, doom this. Now I'm doing this. Everything, as you can see, is occasionally you get gold, and every single piece of gold that you can get your hands on theoretically can make your next run easier. Because he's a challenge room. You're not supposed to be able to beat him. And it is a Bloodhelm. Hey look, the one I couldn't get. I'm gonna check what that achievement says. Ah, my very first gold chest. Yeah. Now, do I die as I go down? Do I die as I go down past this? I do. It is kind of reminiscent of Mario. I'm sorry it took me so long to see that, because like I said, I'm not holding my phone right now. just gonna go with the no negative servants. Hey, look, pretty much exactly the same amount of gold as last time. Damn it. Hey, look, we have something new. We know what it is. Oof. My helm is giving me too many benefits right now. It's neat that I can, but I'm not going to. So the reason I don't use the Architect to lock the castle down and run the same run that I did previously is because he takes 40% of all gold which, as you can imagine, that would have only been 80 gold instead of 100. The game is feeling bad about the fact that I didn't get very much gold in my last run. See, it's got 2 regular chests. This is a gate room, but I can't tell if it's forest or the other scary place, the Maya. It's the Maya. Oh god, no. Oh, demonetized. I'm not even monetized. Oh, that's my fault. I really appreciate a chicken, you stupid game. Enemies. Yeah, I don't have links, so I can't teleport over. And there is not a secret passage. This long room and drop down, or head right. I'm going to head right. 'Cause, 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 resist, because I don't think I have the gear. So I'm gonna move a gateway room to the forest. That's a headless horse, that's terrifying. Of course, the HP wasn't worth what I lost when I jumped to it. This is the forest boss. It's a good idea to take the bosses on in order, so I think I'm just gonna look around some more, see if I can't scavenge some more stuff. That serves me right. Doesn't disappear like in some other games until you leave the room. Now, give me that. No. Well, I think I'm done broadcasting for now. That's the longest string of enemies I've had so far. So I'm gonna end the broadcast here so I can go do some other things like, you know, food. You have a great evening, folks.